to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again. It is Derek, the Thought Engineer, with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, I am feeling really good. It was a long Monday, though. I thought we weren't going to never get here. You know how you be at work and you look at the clock and it say 1 o'clock, and then you look at it 15 later and it say 12:30? I said, well, I ain't looking at it no more. It's going to be 9 in the morning when I look at it. I ain't looking at it no more. It's been that kind of day, man. It's been that kind of day.
Now, you can't watch the clock. You just got to put your head down and work, and then all of a sudden you pop up. Oh, it's time.
Yeah,
It's
time to go. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Welcome to Man Talk Monday. Let me remind everybody, of course, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships. But, of course, we're doing it from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, it's not just for men. We want everybody to participate in the conversation. Now, how you do this, simply go in the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see this, and this is how you talk with us. But by all means, we want to hear from you. You got something to say, we want to hear it, right? So go in the comments, make sure you go in there and let us know what's on your mind. Don't forget our podcast. You can catch us Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, Bullhorn, all the different platforms you can catch us on. We upload a new episode every week, so you can go, you can check us out at your leisure. Whenever you just doing whatever, cleaning the house, driving your car, you can turn on Man Talk Mondays on the podcast and hear some great shows. We got some great content out there for you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe as well. For all my people who love to watch TV, you can catch us on TV as well. We're on the BS3 TV channel on Roku. We're live right now. Right now. You can catch us right now on BS3 TV.
Hey, when can they catch us? When can they catch us?
Right now. If you got a Roku TV or Roku device, you can just go and check us out. But by all means, go watch us. Also, we have a direct web link that you can watch us on your computer. It's bs3tvlive.com. You can go there and you can catch us on your computer live right now. But we everywhere. We everywhere.
We're gonna blow up.
Right?
We're gonna blow up.
We trying, man. We trying.
I'm telling you, you're right. You're sure right, brother.
Y'all make sure y'all get the word out about Man Talk Monday. All right. There has been a lot going on this past week. First of all, we talk, this is our segment we call Man Talk About It. We just got to touch on some of this stuff that we have going on right now. I don't know if you caught it, but I don't know if she's a pastor or what you call her, but she's a singer, Miss Kim Burrell.
Yes, I saw.
Kim Burrell.
I had the pleasure of seeing.
You had the pleasure. Okay. Miss Kim Burrell is catching a lot of backlash behind some things she said. So let's catch a little bit of what she said right here.
Hell yeah. You know, sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill?
Thankful.
How many of your bills in your little cousin's name? Do you live in a trailer home or a house? You know, you understand? And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. You know, life is different now.
You're doing too much.
And you know, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who are walking by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good. I respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now?
I feel some kind of way myself right now.
When y'all invite me to come to your church, I'm not as expensive as I seem.
Here we go right here. I would get this new beer.
Well, maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan.
All right. Needless to say,
I just got a question.
go ahead.
So when she says, how long has your lights been in somebody else's name? Your PPP loan, was she talking about men or was she talking about people in general? Because there was a feeling like she was talking about how long has your name been in, hey, how long have you had this or been living in a trailer park or this kind of thing? Was she talking about men or was she talking about people in general? Because if she was talking about men, I feel some kind of way right now. I feel some kind of right now about it. And it would appear that she had been hanging out with the pastors. You know how they go eat before the service? So it would appear that she had been hanging out with the pastors and she had a braggadocious spirit, if I may, to where she felt like she could talk and do kind of like they do. And and you can kind of tell that wasn't really her element.
You called a braggadocious spirit. She was low-key begging.
You think so?
Absolutely. She was low-key begging. She made the statement, you can invite me to your church. I don't cost that much despite what you think. You might have money left over from your PPP loan. Just say you need some more money. Say nobody calling you like this.
But before she said it, she talked about how broke we were. If you living in a trailer park, if you got your bills in your kids' name, if you got all that stuff, that's not a well-to-do people. That's the people that are dare I say, in between blessings.
It's in between,
dare I say.
And they stuck. Right. Yolanda says she's nasty. She was nasty on Sunday best as well. But some people they get fame and everything and they get beside themselves.
Yeah.
I remember somebody said, if you want to see a person's true character, give them access to one of three things: power, unlimited access to money, power, or sex, and you will find out just who you dealing with. And I think she got a little high on the hog about, you know what I'm saying, her fame and everything, and she got beside herself, but she was low-key begging. People not calling her like she want them to, and she needs some money. That's why she made that little roundabout plea.
Yeah, but if you have presented yourself to the people to be nasty, because one thing about most people of color, we're very forgiving. You can do a lot to us and we'll keep taking you back. But if you keep on kicking us, eventually the word will get out and we won't have you over like we used to. I just think she, because I think she put out the little apology talking about, y'all, I'm sorry. I am sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Listen, this me. Now you begging. You begging now. Because they're trying to cancel you.
Pride comes before destruction. Now, it's interesting you said people are forgiving. It's interesting because I think old Bishop Jakes gonna be looking for some forgiveness behind some comments he made. They're trying to cancel Bishop Jakes right now. The women are trying to cancel Bishop Jakes right now. So I'm just gonna catch a little bit of something he said during the message that he preached, right?
Sociological order of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families.
So needless to say, we're going to see how forgiving the people are with this one, because they are trying to cancel him right now behind this.
Well, if I was him, I wouldn't worry about too much, because I'm pretty sure his church is 70% women. I'm pretty sure it's a really, really thick And as far as women, and they didn't be quiet because there should have been a hush over the thing when he said it. I would have thought you'd have heard doors closing and everything, but you didn't hear none of that. They kept hollering because most of the time women don't really be listening to what he's saying anyway. They just hollering because it's Bishop Jakes. Just me. That's what my friend was telling me about when he was over there. That ain't me. My friend was telling me. He was just telling me to just be hollering. So, and when they got home, it's normally when people make you listen to something, you be like, "Oh yeah, he did kind of say that, didn't he? Oh yeah, he did." I don't think they really. And listen, he didn't lie. Corporate America says you gotta act like that if you're a woman in order to advance. He didn't lie, and the people are advanced. You don't know a nice person, a nice woman in corporate America that's advancing. She got to be cutthroat or she got to be real pretty. And let me see how to say this. You can be nice and pretty, but you just don't advance that way. Not in corporate America, this dog eat dog. This dog eat dog. And you got to act like the men because the men have set the standard. And you want to be a player in the men's club. In the men's club, they are everybody cutthroat.
That's corporate America. What about the house, though? Well, are they turning it off at home?
You try to. Because I remember one time my wife, they had made her elder at the church. and she gonna try to come home. I was like, hey, whoa. You can leave your robe at the door. So when you come through these pearly gates in here, I need some chicken on the stove. I need some chicken with some baked beans and some cornbread in there.
He snapped that collar on and said, listen here, sir. Let me talk to you.
I'm kidding.
No, he's not. No, he's
not. But there is a struggle. I know there's a struggle with that because you can't tell people what to do all day. Because think about this, we at work more than we at home a lot of times.
Yeah,
we don't. When you at home, man, you juggling the kids and dinner and all the extracurricular stuff, man. You really spend more time with the people at work than you do at home. So if you telling people what to do and bossy and pushy and mean at work, you can't help but bring that home with you.
So do you feel like that's probably one of the reasons men are deciding to leave the home?
You know, because I had my bag packed. Hey, I was doing laundry, but it was packed nonetheless.
You thought about it, though, right?
I thought about it. It crossed my mind. No, to be serious, though, I thought it was going to be a problem. Really? Seriously? I assumed that it was going to be a problem, but it wasn't. But I thought it was going to be a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because people not, power, man. Power is something. Power is something else.
So men are losing their power. Mika said he's not lying about corporate America, but he lying about that robe. What's going on, Lee Aubrey? Welcome to the show. Well, there is a serious problem, and I think Bishop Jakes kind of alluded to it because part of that message he said, and you wonder why men are being silent in the home. And I think this power dynamic could be contributing to a very serious problem that we're having in these homes. And that problem is absenteeism when it comes to fathers. This is a huge issue. Fathers are not in the home anymore, and it's becoming an increasingly bad problem. So tonight we're talking about daddies. Do we need them? Daddies, do we need them? Right. So we have a esteemed guest that will be joining us. I'll let Mr. Yogi introduce our guest for tonight.
Our guest tonight is a really good friend of mine. At least I hope I can call him a friend. I hope he don't get on here and say you ain't none of my friend. But I hope to a real good friend of mine. I actually counseled me and my wife we married 31 years, so it was some time ago. And man, he really left a lasting effect on me and my wife. He was not pastoring, but he was counseling over at Concord, and now he's in Southeast Iowa. So with no further ado, y'all show some love for Dr. Rod Stodghill. Yay!
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, Ron, we are really good friends, brother. There are a few guys that you're going to run your life with, and you're one of them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Thank you. I'll send you a check after the show.
So you paid him to say all this.
Hey, man.
Anthony said, yes, I'm a father, not a daddy. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Is there a difference between daddies and fathers? Yeah.
Huh.
I think one of the things that we deal with is that we don't have good examples. We've negated the model, if you will, and we've erased it from the 60s. We've been on this of discover who we are, discover if we want freedom, and let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of these old things because they're not working. Yet we didn't replace it with something better. And we got to go back to having counseled so many. I figured maybe 15,000 sessions when I was at Concord. One of the things that I learned is God is very smart in giving the child to the mother first and not the dad.
Oh, wow.
Puts it in the mother's womb. The mother has a sense of excitement. I've met thousands of great mothers, very, very few bad mothers. And there just was the mother identifies the child with themselves, that they're loved, connects them to their sense of eating and going to the restroom. And then at about the age of 5 years old, the father begins to kick in. And daddy is a name that a child gives a father. Now, this is my personal experience. My daughter was about 8, 9 years old, and there was a Victoria's Secret thing going across the top of my deal, and I clicked on it and watched these models do their thing. Well, my daughter got on right away afterward and said that she said that Andrew, our oldest child, is looking at some dirty stuff. And my wife said, no, that was your dad. Your dad already confessed to me that he was looking at that. And from that day on, she never called me daddy again.
Really?
She hasn't to this day. She still calls her mom mommy. I lost something that day.
Oh, wow.
So now that's my experience. Now, each person, with your child, it's a very personal thing. But at about 5, 6 years of age, a heart awakens that I want a daddy. I want a father. I want to be mentored. I want to be what I like to call second seminated. And so the child begins looking, and the mother cannot feel this. This is where the son's masculinity is awakened. It's where the daughter's femininity is awakened. If the daughter's femininity is not awakened by the father, then her sexuality, and she turns to her male peers and say, hey, define who I am. And she begins to take a sexual identity rather than a feminine identity. And the males, they take a masculine identity. If the father's there and he calls it forward, then all the females in his life are covered and nurtured. If not, then his sexuality steps ahead of his masculinity, and he begins to take a sexual identity based upon how does he tantalize, how do the females feel about him. And so he moves into a secondary part of this awakening. And so when we don't have men, when we don't have fathers, we don't have this awakening. And so what happens is there's this horrible, horrific void that a son begins to have. And he begins to doubt his mettle. And so sometimes he tries to prove his mettle by getting into fights, by doing sports, by doing academics, by doing females, so he's busy doing rather than being secure in being.
Oh,
and
wow.
So doesn't want anybody to get close. So I keep everybody distant.
Anthony said, yes, you need a father in their lives. Women can't show a male how to be a man.
That's it.
Monique said, I agree. Monique said, I agree. There is so much a mother cannot feel compared to their father or daddy. So people are agreeing with you, what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew or looked at it to that depth, though. I knew it was something, but what you just explained, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
The crazy thing about it is I remember being about 33 and I was still waiting for my father to become my daddy. I was waiting. I kept giving him chance after chance. Okay, you gonna come by the house at this time? We're gonna go do this. Yeah, and he wouldn't show up. I said, gotta give him another chance. Okay, you're gonna come by the house and you're gonna do this. Yeah. Wouldn't come. Gotta give him another chance. Because I didn't know how to turn that off until he passed. I was like, well, just ran out of time. But I waited till I was 33 to get that from him, and I never got it.
Yep. Every son, every daughter is looking for that blessing. And it's, if you're no father at 6, then there's a sense of ignorance. There's a sense of, I don't know what's going on. I'm missing something. If I don't have anybody stepping in by the time of 12, now I'm ticked off. Now I got attitude. Now, no female teacher's going to tell me something. And this is when coaches can step in and help. I turned to my grandfather. My parents divorced in 8th grade. We moved next to my grandfather. I said, hey, Grandpa, can you teach me how to fish? Can you teach me how to fish? And my grandfather said, I'm done raising boys. And what I heard is, you're not worthy.
Oh, wow.
You're not worthy. And that's a mark that's on my subconscious. So 80% of what I think about is the absence of my father, my physical father, my grandfather, and just other thing that men have said. I pick up on that, and that hides in my subconscious. And so when I sit and have other encounters with other men now, even though I'm 60, still this subconscious picks up. Pastor Bailey at Concord, he asked me to do something that was very bold. And I told him, I said, Pastor, I am chicken. I mean, he said, young man, your inadequacy will not serve you well.
Oh, wow.
And I knew I had to deal with it. And I knew I had said, God, you got to fix this, because this man, I respect this man. I'll do anything this man tells me to do, shows me to do. Amazing. And so we have all these men out there that we're quietly exhausted. We're waiting for somebody to authenticate us.
Yes.
And we don't want anybody. And this is why a lot of times we don't allow our wives or our daughters to get close to us, because I don't want them to see there ain't nothing there.
Oh my goodness. Let me get Anthony's comment. Anthony said, me personally adopted my elder brother to be my daddy around 11 or 13. So he had to find somebody to fill it. But he said, still to this day, he is my confidant.
Yes.
And you just tapped into something. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When you said, when your grandfather said, I'm done raising boys, you interpret it as, I'm not worthy. How often do our kids playing out that sense of not being valued? And that father is either not there, or they feel that rejection. I have one of my nephews, and he heard his father reject him, not to his face, but he heard him say it. And I know he struggled for a while, and he still has some issues, but just to have that not being valued.
What it does is, it's called a third voice. So you have your first voice is the voice that's in your head. The second voice is the voice that's in your wife that you need to listen to. It's the voice.
Whoa. Did you say your wife?
Yeah.
No. Skip that. Skip that.
Set a mute button.
Okay, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it's the voice of your children. It's the voice of your parents. It's the people that are in your inner circle. The third voice is this ominous voice that's hidden in your subconscious. It's based upon the programming of your childhood. And so if you have this programming of not worthy, then when you sit down at a table, that voice gets to speak first. And it's 80% of the decisions that you're going to make are based upon that subconscious. And I love what was just said there, is it leads to a trauma, PTSD. We come out of our childhood with this PTSD, and we're bent on one thing: avoiding the pain, avoiding examination. And you cannot become a man, you cannot, without sincere and intense examination.
Let me get this comment. Debbie says, my girl's dad wasn't in their lives, but they looked up to my brother as a father figure, and they turned out fine.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. That's my sister. But but what you said just then is, you know, we look for that validation, but we go around and you say we don't like to be examined. Now, we can make babies, but being fathers is a whole different thing. But is that examination the reason why we run?
Exactly. And we're going to do it because of who we are. You're going to do it 1 inch better than your dad did it to you. You're going to be a 1 inch dad better. And your dad, no matter how bad he was 1 inch better than his dad. And he prided himself on that. And I see that with my dad. My grandfather was an alcoholic. My dad is not. And so he thinks himself, and I think of myself 1 inch better than what my dad is. And I'm sure my son thinks he's 1 inch, and that's the wrong deal. You got to go back. This is what I told my children. You know, I've got a master's degree, kids. I can get you to 10, but your heart is going to raise me the rest of the way. Malachi chapter 4 says, if I come to a people and their father's heart is not centered on the children, and the children's heart's not centered on the father, I will remove my hand and place a curse on that people.
Oh, wow.
And that's the last verse that's in the Old Testament. And so God is looking. God comes to a home. God comes to a village. God comes to a community, to a church, to a mosque, to whatever. And the thing he's going to look is the father's heart centered on those children. And if it's not, he'll remove his hand and his blessing will disintegrate off of that family.
Wow. I hope you guys are catching this. Listen, you got somebody. Anthony says I'm 8 inches.
It is. Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you like what you're hearing, you know somebody else needs to hear this, please go ahead and share it with somebody. Call somebody, let them know to tune into the show right now. They're missing some great information right now with Dr. Rod, who's here. Like it, share it, put it out. Let people know. Tune in right now. They're missing the good stuff right now. And you know, it's amazing because how much do we let ourselves off the hook by just saying, well, I'll do it 1 inch better than he is, but it's not the actual standard that is needed. How much do we let ourselves off the hook with that?
And that's real easy. My mother was mentally ill, tried to kill me one time. And so I made sure I married a beautiful, and she's been an amazing mother. We've been married 42 years. And because I was better than my mother was, but better than my father, yet now I'm at this age where I'm going to the kids, and I've done this, and I'm in the process of doing this and saying, how did I wound you as a child? Well, Dad, you're okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just don't worry. No, I said, seriously. And then my oldest son said, you hurt me when I was 8, then you did it again when I was 10, then you finished it at 11.
Wow.
My youngest, who's an actor, so he's got a lot of drama, a little extra. And so he's where he got the third voice. Is Dad, you said this. And I did not line him up like I did with my son, Andrew. It was one time I lost it. I just lost it when he was about 16 years old, and I dumped him. And with my daughter, Tori, it was about I threatened to kill her cat. I mean, it just was like, and she said that I saw this protective, benevolent father who sang to me when she was 5 years old. I started singing to her the Joe Crocker song, "You are so beautiful to me. You're everything a daddy longs for," all that a daughter's supposed to be. You're so beautiful to me. And so we were tight in our relationship, but our cat was acting out, was peeing all over the place. And I said, listen, I can get rid of this cat. I can get rid of this cat. And she said, she cried and this was like 6 months ago. She said, I thought the love that I had for my cat, that your love for me extended to my cat.
Oh,
and it was a huge wound for her. It affected her, and I had to deal with it. I had to own it. And that's where forgiveness comes in. And if the number one thing that men wrestle with, and I can tell you from counseling, is that men can't forgive themselves.
Wow. Monica says, when Father's Day comes, I always ask that my friends not wish me happy Father's Day because I'm not my children's father. Mad love to my brother Derek Smith and the men who played a great part in showing my son how to be a man. And you know, I tell people a lot of times, manhood is a collective job. It's not on one man. It's the picture that all men together put together. So we all play a part in that next generation. Like especially if dad's not there, then when they look to other men, what are they seeing? And I think men need to understand the huge responsibility we have outside of our homes to even kids who may not have their father there, that somebody's looking at you and they're trying to get something from you that they're missing from their father.
That's so important, because what happens is the mother's primary womb to 6, the father kicks in about 5, at about 10 coaches step in. And this is where the parents have to step back and become coaches, still parents, but they got to realize they're more coaching. And there was this one tribe in Africa, and what they did when this young man turned 10, they took him out of the mother's home, and he wasn't allowed to look his mother in the face again. And the tribesmen would take him and they would finish raising him. And that's how they raised up their warriors. And what they did is they found ever what he was good at. Let's say he was good at throwing a spear. They would cut his arm. Let's say he was good at cooking or something. They would cut his hand. Wherever his strength was, they said that we, as the group of men, we own that.
Oh, wow.
They would mark it. So for the rest of his life, he would remember that it was for the people, not for himself.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we missing all that. Keisha Walker says, my father abandoned my siblings and I twice. Now that my mother's passed, he's trying to be dad now. I'm dang near 50 and all my older siblings are in their 50s. We've moved on. But why does he want to come back now? It only revives the pain we felt as children. Then I feel lost, confused, because we don't know how to receive him.
There's 2 ways he can come back. He can come back with regrets, and what he wants to do is come back in like he left, and that's gone. That season of Daddy's gone. It's gone. Right. He's going to be a distant uncle, maybe a distant older cousin or something like that. But he wants to come back in. I used to help with Concord. We helped people that were getting out of prison, have been out 10, 12, 15 years to
get acclimated back,
to make it back to their family. So it sounds like regrets. And really what she's longing for is, Dad, come at me with repentance. Come at me and look in my eyes and see the scar that's on my heart. If you own that scar and you grow into that scar, then you and I can start a relationship.
For me, the craziest thing that I've heard or that I've kind of been through is you don't really have examples of how to be a father, like you said. And yet it's thrust upon you to have a daughter and boys, and you need to figure out a way to parent them and what's going to work for everybody. And it's very difficult because there are no manuals. I mean, you can read stuff, but everybody's kids are different. And I'll never forget, I was wrestling with me and my daughter when she was younger. I used to throw her around all the time. And I remember one day I picked her up to throw her around, and all this stuff started moving. And I put her down and backed away from it and said, "Oh, baby, the last time was the last time that Daddy's going to be wrestling with you. Sure, come get your daughter. Come get her." And because there are no manuals on how to be boys, I think I blew some things with my boys, and because we have 2 adopted sons, and I can see them being angry, and I'm trying to figure out why. Well, your parents leave you as a whole. My dad left. My dad went to the store and told us he was going to get some cigarettes. I don't know what kind he was getting, but he never came back. So he must have been in Mexico or somewhere, because he never came back from getting them. And so So you have a void, you have a hole in you that you're trying to put stuff in to fill, and you can't seem to get it filled. No matter what you do, you can't seem to get that hole filled. And that for me, I hear this. I'm a grown man with a grown man physique now, and I just keep thinking, here I am in my 50s, and I still have this hole at 50 that I'm trying to fill.
That's awesome. The way that you get it filled is you have to go through the depth of the pain you went through as a child. You have to go back to, you said your dad promised he would come, and he didn't, and he promised and he didn't. And that's an unusual level of pain, because your hope gets built up and then it gets taken down. Then it gets built up, and then now you start getting mad at yourself for hoping. The most beautiful aspect of the human's ability is the ability to hope. And your dad stirred that up, and then he took it away, and he damaged a part of your humanity. And you'll walk with a limp for the rest of your life because of that damage. And so as long as that grief is still in there, and you haven't exhaled it out, it always gets to speak.
Oh, wow. Let me get Miss Cheryl. This is the missus. She says, awesomeness. There was a lot of security that I needed from my dad that I didn't get. I spent a lot of years trying to get his approval. I thought it was my fault. By the grace of God, he delivered me from that.
We always blame ourselves. The children always blame themselves. It's amazing to me that even in sexual abuse, the children will say, I did something, and there's this sense of shame. There's a sense of inadequacy. And I love what you said. God delivered me, and God can do that. That is what God does.
Wesley said, I told my dad we could be friends because the time to be a father had passed.
Well done, Wesley. Yep. And if the dad says, no, I'm going to be your dad, then we're not going to be friends.
Wow.
It's the reason we don't have racial reconciliation in the United States is my white kind want to say, hey, you guys need to live with the wound. I don't. Let's just go on. No. We have to own the wound. And the wound has to become a part of us.
Wow.
And it has to be at a being level. It can't be at a thinking level. It can't be at a Harvard level. It's got to be at a being level.
Oh, wow. And
that's what, and it's the same thing in a marriage. If the husband messes up and he wounds his wife, he has to own that scar that's on her being. When my wife and I were dating, she's German, and I met her overseas. I flew back home and kissed an ex-girlfriend. If you see her today, John, when you see her and you say to her, say, hey, redhead, 77 or 78, Gabi today will cry. Are you serious? 44 years later, a tear, because in that moment it becomes, and that's what we've got to do. We have to reconcile at a being level. And so the dad can come in and he's got to look into his daughter. He's got to look into his son's eyes and say, I don't understand it. My dad was there for me. I wounded you. I can see the scar. Can you help me grow into it? And what's going to happen is the child's going to throw up. They're going to throw up all this stuff they've been keeping.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The people are loving you. Ivan says, wow, Dr. Rod, knowledge bomb. So he's dropping all kinds of knowledge. Dr. Selena says, Dr. Rod has my lower lip quivering.
That means there's grief there. That means she's healthy enough to feel the pain that's there. What's unhealthy is when we suppress it down. John, you talked about a little bit, and we have all these systems that we develop to keep that pressure, to keep that down, and then all of a sudden it erupts and we explode and we hurt people around us.
Well, the crazy thing, one of the reasons why I started doing comedy was to hide behind something.
Yeah,
I didn't want people to see the hurt and the pain that I was going through because it was making me angry. And so I started doing comedy, making people being the funny guy, so I could hide behind what was really going on inside. So, yeah.
Monique says, if a father is absent in various ways, what can the mother actively do to center the child, especially a boy, try to take some of the pain away?
There it is. This is what I love about moms. This is what I love about my wife. If I could go back in time and tell the 18-year-old that just met this beautiful 17-year-old, this woman is going to love you. Mothers love. And I love this, Monique's love for her son. You can't take the pain away. Don't give him cookies. Because if you bosom this young man, he's going to look for a bosom when he gets older, when he gets hurt. And
Oh, wow.
we stand it. We want him to be able to take the hit.
Right.
I don't need a bosom. I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to face my way through this. And what I would encourage her to do is to see the man pain that's there. Romans 8 says there are groans too deep for words, and she needs to groan out to God. God, you need to raise up some men for this young man, and I'm going to groan for him for the rest of his life, is that you would continue to bring these men into his life that are going to speak into his life. See, the essence of what a father does from 6 to 10 years age, he prophesies over his daughter, over his son. He says two things about him. Number one, a prophecy is a forthtelling. I see who you are. I see you. I see your being. I see where you're good, and I see in your head you're stupid. I see in your hands you're stupid. I see in your loin you're stupid.
Right.
Daughter, I see you need to know that the guys are going to look at you like this. And so what I would encourage you to do is pray for him, that there would be men that would prophesy over him, that would forthtell, but they'd also foretell. A son wants to be seen and he wants to be sent. And they would foretell. They would say, listen, when a woman does this, don't, the mother's prayer in Proverbs 31, do not give your strength to women. Do not give your strength to women. There are going to be women that are going to come up, and he needs men warning him about that. Warn him about somebody handing him a funny cigarette that has a funny smell and in a wrong place and a wrong time. There's places for that. There's the right time and all this. An alcoholic drink. And I told my son, I said, both of them, I said, it does not matter to me what you do. You will not change my love for you. However, you will determine how my love comes back to me, whether it comes back as grief or joy.
Oh, wow.
Now, you will not change my love for you. You will not.
That'll make you think.
And it happened for them. The way that I described it, they experienced it and they were ready for it. That's what a mentor does. That's what a father's supposed to do. And I see you making your way through this.
But we don't have no books or nothing, Rod. How we supposed to know all of this? You gonna tell me all this today? I'm 17 years in now. I'm too late, Rod. I can't go in and say, look in my eyes. I can't. It's too late now.
John, I promise you this. Andrew and I were in college. He was getting ready to go to college. This young lady comes over to take our order. She bends over, and Andrew and I both look down, and we can see her belly button. And in other words, you can see. And so when she leaves, Andrew says, Dad, what am I supposed to do with that? And man, I'm making this stuff up as I go along. I never read a book on this. What am I supposed to do with that? It was a freebie. Enjoy. Just drink it in, man. Just. And I said, N-O-K-N-O-W. He says, what's that mean? No, that was not your set. But no, that's making a set for you.
Wow.
And that was the most powerful sexual focused thing that he'd ever been through. He said, Dad, where did you get that? And I said, dude, I am making this stuff up as we go along. Books out there. So if you are in this place, this is why the Malachi says, you send it on your child's heart. Your child's heart will give you the answer.
Wow.
Your child's heart will give you the answer. And that's why God says, if I find a people, I don't care if they're religious, I don't care if they're whatever persuasion they are, but if I find the fathers who centered on their children's heart, and this is the thing that Chuck Swindoll did this deal where he asked these 5-year-olds, what's the number one thing you want to hear from your dad? And he said, they all said the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so I made sure. I said, listen, Dad's going to mess up all the time. And my children, one time they got into an argument Sunday morning. They're in an argument in the church foyer where, they feed us pastors in between. And they're having an argument. Which one of them got yelled at the most as a child? And I'm like, guys, I'm the family life pastor. You can't have this argument here at church. Andrew, the oldest, you win. I yelled at you far more than the others.
Right. Listen, everybody, make sure we We don't have that much time left, but like, share, subscribe, share this out to somebody right now. Some great stuff being shared right now. We got a comment we want to go to real quick. I can get my producer. We'll come back to it.
While we're waiting, if he said one thing that you think somebody else need to hear, I think everybody all need to be sharing, because I'm certain there is something that everybody needs to hear.
Share this out. Share this out.
Yes. Yeah.
Mika says this conversation is vital. Although my dad was there and still here for us, there can still be things. We have healthy conversations about everything, but conversations like this are healthy. Wow, this is good. I can't wait for my dad to hear this. He was amazing because he said he didn't want us to miss because he did. Keisha says, I'm watching this and I can't stop crying. He is trying to come back to the 9-year-old he left. And that's exactly what we want, is for him to accept what he's done. He had both his parents and we were very close to them. I understand there isn't a manual, but he left and completely embarrassed us as a family. My dear mother died of a broken heart, hoping he'd come back, and he married someone else, raised her kids, and now want us to be a family. Is it okay to not want to deal with him? Wow.
Yeah. Yes. The thing that, let me encourage you, process your grief. Get it out, throw it up. You got it, because what you've been doing for years is you had no safe place, and now all of a sudden you're hearing good voices, and you realize this is it. And so wow, get it out, throw it up. And this is where groans are too deep for words, and that's why you heard me just make that noise. Just get it out and flow it out. You're going to feel so much better. And then you're going to see, if he owns the wound, you can reconcile. If he doesn't own the wound, then you're friends. It's like a Republican and a Democrat living together. It's like a Muslim and a Christian living together. You're going to establish this political relationship. The problem is he wants you to be the 9-year-old. He wants to have authority in your life, and it's like you didn't do the time. You did not do the time, and therefore you don't get the reward. You didn't do the investment. You go into a bank, I want to withdraw some money, but you didn't do the investment, and there's zero investment. Now we can start again, but we're going to start as adults, and it's got to reconciling of being. Now we can reconcile mind-wise, but to reconcile a being, Dad, you got to own the wounds. You got to own the scars that I have suppressed so bad, and it's going to take me usually about a good month to open up for every scar of a year. So if it's been 30 years, Dad, you got 30 months of time. You got 30 months of throwing up that I'm going to do. And if I'm worth it, you'll endure, and you're going to grow. You're going to learn things about a daughter. You're going to learn things about a son. As you and I establish this messy, bloody relationship, and we're going to have an amazing relationship when it's all over.
Wow. Anthony says that is true. Even though my father abandoned us seasonally, when it was cold, he came home. When it was warm, he was absent. He got cancer, and I went back to Mississippi, and moved him in with me. He spoke to me with sincerity about how he lived his life while we were at home and apologized. He has since passed, as well as my mother, but she helped me take care of him in his final days.
Well done, Anthony. That's my mother, tried to kill me, hated me, tried to call Pastor Carter, tried to get me fired at the Concord Church. I mean, to the very last. And God graced me. I was able to come up here, was able to help her. We actually danced 3 days before she died. And it's because of my love for my sister, not my love for my mom, because she hated me so bad. I mean, just hated me. And God graced me. And it sounds like God graced you as well. And let me encourage you guys to just trust God. Something you'll see me do every once in a while is just lean back, because I'm emotionally overwhelmed. Humanly speaking, I cannot do this. It's too much. I have too deep of hurts. I live with my dad now. and he just had surgery, and we're doing the farming stuff, and I'm taking the responsibility of that. And every day is a struggle. Every day is hurts and is exciting.
Wow.
I don't want to. The train is going 50 one way. I don't want to jerk it in another direction. But I have to ask this because I see this all the time. I see women overcompensating for their sons because their daddy wasn't there and they couldn't give him everything the dad was supposed to give him. So they keep babying them and giving them stuff until they turn into a man that is more feminine than he's supposed to be, because mom wouldn't let go of him. And she was trying to, like Monique said, I think she was trying to take away some of that pain that she know he went through. And I think, man, it is great that I think that was the greatest thing that came tonight, is you talked about why they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I see it all the time. I see it all the time.
Even if there's a husband and wife, even if there's a mom and dad there, what I tell the moms, I said, at the age of 10, you stop being the referee. And you got to get off the field, and you got to change your clothes and put on the coaching clothes. Now you're bound by time, you're bound by timeouts, you're bound by the rules, and you're not allowed to run on that field anytime you want to. You got to back off, and you got to let the men step forward. And if they don't, then you cry out to God.
Can you say that one more time? I know they didn't hear it in the back. I know they did not hear that in the back, sir. Can you please let them know that at 10, back off, so the man.
The men need to step forward. And mom, what you got to do is take off the referee, and that means you cannot be involved in every little thing. And what I loved had to do with my wife is I said, okay, are you looking at the 90-year-old man that's going to be here and you're going to be gone, or are you looking at your boo-boo? I said, if you hold that son to your chest, he'll be chest bound for the rest of his life. Is that what you want? Or do you want him to stand as a man at 10? Well, he's too young. He needs me to be there. No, he doesn't. He needs me to be there. He needs you to keep me in check. He needs me to keep me, to make sure that I'm doing everything in love and not brutality. But he almost doesn't need. And now that doesn't mean you guys aren't good friends. But if you don't back up, you guys aren't going to be friends.
Oh, wow.
In a country to where the statistics show how so many fathers aren't in the home, I don't. Is that why the country? Is that why a lot of relationships and kids are in the shape to win? Because we're in a bad spot when it comes to men, and it would appear that it's over the period of time that we've been doing that we haven't been in the home. And we can blame it on women. We can blame it on women talking too much. We can blame it on them trying to run things. But I think ultimately the man is responsible for staying in the house and making sure that house does what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
So let me just a few statistics, and this is about absentee father, and it says 18.4 million children are in the home without a biological step or adopted father in the home. And here are some of the effects of it. It said kids in this situation are 4 times at a greater risk of poverty. They're 2 times greater risk of infant mortality. They're more likely to go to prison, more likely to commit crime, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to face abuse or neglect, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, 2 times more likely to suffer obesity, and 2 times more likely to drop out of school. These are just the effects of a father not being there. The absenteeism, the effects of absenteeism. And is all of this fighting that men and women are doing now, men ain't no good, women, is it worth what's happening to the next generation?
Exactly. And so there's a hunger, there's a poverty, and sometimes that's what it takes for them to go out and say, we're not doing it the way it was done to us. We're gonna do something different. We're gonna be very intentional. We're gonna be very intentional about the relationship thing. We're gonna be very intentional about God. And you see, there's a hope of a different generation rising up. Statistically, it usually doesn't happen that way. That this society, as we're in, we're done. There's never been a society that's recovered from the loss of the father. There's never. You get sexual chaos. When you get sexual chaos, you get immorality, you get different forms of immorality, different flavors of immorality, and that leads to another generation that makes another step away from design, that leads to another generation, and then you have the Roman amphitheater. Then you have the lust for blood, the lust for an anger, just a consumption, and you see it working out in our culture right now.
Anthony says, you need a bigger platform, guys. This conversation needs to be on the road.
We've been saying this for years. We have been saying this for years, man. Wow.
Breaking generational curses, Lee Aubrey said. But let me say this real quick. I'm going to get Monique's comments. She says, I'm gaining much needed information and writing it down to reread and pray over. Part 2, please. You want some part 2? I look at my father, and I found out that his father had issues. My father had issues. I'm a result of his issues because I was born out of wedlock. And when I look at my life, I went through the pain of him not being there. He was there, he was around, but he wasn't there. He wasn't in the home. And it was, just a whole lot of other factors. But when I got with God, God basically told me I couldn't have him there because of what I wanted to do with you and how I wanted to correct some things down your line. You had to suffer that pain for what I had to take you through because of what I'm trying to correct. Now, he supplied me with coaches. He supplied me with, especially, and I tell anybody, my father-in-law was a huge, huge help to me. And he stepped in at a great time for me. But God reconciled that in my heart because he was like, for what I needed to cut off, I know it hurt, but I needed to cut it off. Pain that you feeling, it was necessary because you have to be that much better.
Amen. And that's why you're here today, is you want people to not have to go through what you went through. Same with me. That's the Lord showed me the same thing with my mother. And my father is that, and I see it when people come in for counseling, and it makes it worthwhile. For me, is that I will go through that again if it helps me be there for you. Very good.
That's what's really good, man. I think when you said obesity because my dad went there, I knew it was somebody's fault and it wasn't mine. I knew it was somebody's fault and it wasn't mine. I'm supposed to be skinny and tall. I knew it was somebody's fault. Thank you, Derek, for letting me know, giving me a reason why I am a big man, because my daddy had left. If he had to carry back, I'd be skinny and 6'2".
Well, because food is a coping mechanism.
It is.
And especially in the Black neighborhood, in the Black community, we have, it's called comfort food for a reason. We have so much issues, we need comfort, and we look for comfort in food to much of our health demise.
And it's a problem. And we have been talked out of letting our fathers be in the home because of food stamps and stuff like that. When we add so much more to the house than money, that you can't even put a value on the money. You know what I'm saying? It's worthless. You can't put a cost on it. You can't how valuable it is for the father to be in the house.
Yeah. It's amazing. I live in this house with this 84-year-old man, can't get up out of bed. Yet the other night we got coyotes around and they were making some noise, and he got up and I went back to sleep because I ain't scared. My dad's in the house. But he's 84 years old. He can barely see.
Wow.
If he shoots something, it's probably going to be the dog or you. So.
Oh my goodness.
Scared because Dad's home. Lucille Ball said, she was asked before she died, said, "What's wrong with America?" She said, "Daddy's not home. When he gets home, it'll be okay."
Oh, wow. Final thought.
I don't really know how you can end no better than that. I don't know what you can. I do not know what you can say. So,
oh my goodness,
Daddy is home. Oh my goodness,
Daddy is home. Wow. Final wrap up. We'll start with you, Dr. Rod. Final thought.
God made us, and when you were in the very beginning, it says in Jeremiah chapter 1, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I planted in you a mother ache. I planted in you a father ache. And that's why this ache is there, and that's why the anger is there, is when the father's not there. And we have an opportunity to face it, and then let's fix it. Let's learn how to help each other and to grow together. Let's build community. Let's build where the men step up and we help each other. And moms recognize what they can do and what they can't do. And again, let me celebrate mothers. Thank you, moms, for what you do. And groan and cry out to God. Romans 8, there are groans too deep for words. And let's move God to move in our community so that we have the sons and we have the daughters that they deserve. They have the influence that they deserve.
My final thought is this. I just want to, my heart goes out to the kids that are coming up without daddies and the young men that are trying to be men. And I just pray right now, man, that God brings men, bring coaches, bring somebody that can help with the healing process. And I want to pray for every man or woman that didn't have their dad in their life, man, that God heals you from that so you can continue to move forward. That's my final thought.
One thing we got to understand is we didn't create this life. This life was designed before we got here. If we don't respect the design, we invite disaster. And that's exactly what we've done. I know everybody feels a certain way when you talk about God, but God is the creator and he set this thing up to work a certain way. And if we don't respect the way he set it up, we can't expect success outside of what he designed. We've all made mistakes. Men have made mistakes. Women have made mistakes. But when are we going to say, you know what? I admit my fault and I want to get better and I want to move forward on both sides, because we continuously losing generations of kids and the stats keep running up and they're not getting better. And it's going to take a collective effort for men and women to say it stops here. I'm going to be there as a man. Women, I'm not going to take on a man before it's time. And just the whole nine. There is so much that we can do to start to pull this thing back in, and it's necessary. So let's care about the next generation enough to get ourselves right so that we can correct this problem before it gets any worse, because we're in a bad way right now and we really need a healing. And I think if we do it God's way, that healing will begin to take place. And that's our King Speaks for this week.
But I just got one thing to say to the men that have left the homes or thinking about leaving the home. You better get back in that house. You better get in that house. You better lock that door. Don't you leave that house. If you don't leave, if you left, I pay you can't sleep tonight. You get back in that house. Because
no, you just said something. You just said something. It's time for other men to make it uncomfortable for men to leave. We got to hold each other accountable. Manhood is a standard across all men. And being a father is part of that. And we got to hold everybody accountable to that. So I'm with you on that. Be like in those foreign countries where the whole men will get around and whoop this dude for beating on his wife.
Hey man, if we knew what was at stake, we would never leave. I would hope that if we knew what was at stake as far as our generation, we would never leave, man.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, great show tonight. Thanks, Dr. Rob. We brag on you often.
Keisha said, please do a part 2, 3, 4, and 5. I needed this. Well, Pastor Rod, you got to let us know your availability, and we can bring you back another time.
Let me tell you what's going on with me. I'm not doing any counseling right now. I'm working on this deal. John, because of you guys have an open deal on my venue. I'm not taking any other. I do a thing called Trace Diaz. If Pastor Carter asked me to come do something for Concord, the answer would be yes. I do their premarital. I do a heart talk session. We could do one show on couples. John, you've experienced heart talk, what it's like. We could get Derek and his wife could be our example, and you could be. Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. Yes, yes. Oh, that'd be great, man. That'd be. Hey, man. Let me say this. I really appreciate you. I cannot express how much of an impact you've had on our lives. From the time I've talked to you, and all we've talked about since was Dr. Rod, Dr. Rod, Dr. Rod. You wouldn't believe it. I know you can't sleep because we're always talking about you, man. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you joining us, man. But more importantly, I appreciate you being a blessing to all of our listeners, man. I really do. I appreciate it, man. And I love you, man. You my dude, man. Love you, dude.
Anything I can do, guys. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I've got a few things coming up, but just if you'll I can send you a calendar link, so you guys can just go ahead and just look and say, hey, we'd like to block that one. We'd block that one, and and that way you own it. That way, once you get that time in there, I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. And that way, and I would a couple of things. There's a great study if you guys want to read it. It's a Harvard study of these old men. They started this in the 1920s. They just finished it. And it says the number one thing that it takes is a benevolent relationship with a father to be a successful man.
What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is The Triumph of Experience. Triumphs of Experience.
Triumphs of Experience.
It's a conclusion of a Harvard study. It's just
wow.
Okay. Wow. Well, we're going to go ahead and let the people go. Thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to keep y'all posted for the next time we have Dr. Rod on, and I know you're going to be looking forward to it. Thank everybody that was in the comments. Thank everybody that shared it out to your friends. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love. We're going to catch you all next Monday. Peace out. Y'all have a good one.
Y'all be blessed.